Hey friends, Joe here at Reverb. As musicians, sometimes we get blocked into the confines of familiarity with our instrument. And if we already have an acoustic that we love, an electric guitar that we love, and a full rig of awesome pedals, and a great amp, where do we turn to next? So today we're going to look at 7 alternate instruments for guitar players. So the first instrument we'll be talking about is the Resonator, and this is the most like a guitar that we'll be looking at today. The distinct tone comes from a series of metal cones inside the body that give a very distinct flavor and will produce a very almost timeless country blues type of tone. Super cool, relatively affordable option for immediately changing up your tone. And this is an all acoustic one. Of course, there are options for pickups and everything like that. It's a very projective instrument though. It's very loud. So even with just an acoustic option, it's super killer. It's very common for Resonator to be in an open tuning. Right now I've got it in open G tuning. And so throw on a slide and do your thing. Okay, next up on our list is something that might even be more familiar to you, the 12-string. 12-string is very popular in acoustic styles and electric styles. Of course, very popular in 60s folk music. Today we've got an electric 12-string here, which can be a very powerful tool. In my experience, can be kind of a secret weapon in the studio, as well as a great songwriting tool to get some different ideas going for your songs. Once again, you can find relatively cheap 12 strings to vary your sound. This is an Agile. I think this was a $200 find. Check out some acoustics, some electric 12 strings. Play the same chords, the same shapes you already do, and you'll be amazed at what you might find. Okay, next up, this cute little thing, a Banjo Uke from Gold Tone. This is called the Little Gem. I feel like I've seen a lot of ukuleles in the past few years, kind of like the ukuleles have become this popular thing for guitar players, also for non-guitar players and people just getting into a stringed instrument for the first time. This is an alternative to that. This has a steel rim and tuned like a ukulele, so it's kind of got a little bit of a banjo flair, but if you're used to ukulele shapes, then this will be super friendly for you. And if you really do just want the banjo tone, but you still don't know how to play a banjo, then the banjitar is a good option for you. Some banjo purists may dismiss this instrument and call it some kind of cheat, but you do you. This is tuned just like a guitar, 6 strings, standard guitar tuning, and it sounds just like a banjo. So if you want to take those guitar voicings and shapes and apply them, then go for it. And it's not a cheat because Neil Young played one. Next up is a perhaps overlooked instrument in the guitar canon, a tenor guitar. There's something that's really classy about this instrument, and I've had a lot of fun with it. And it's tuned in a way that allows you to kind of drone as you move up and down the fretboard on the first 2 strings. So this is a 4-stringed instrument tuned in fifths. I've got it C, G, D, A. This is an instrument for me that is easily approachable. next up, the lap steel. It is called a lap steel because very common to be used on your lap like this. However, it does come with, you can get a stand for it or you can get a strap for it. It's great as an auxiliary instrument live if you want to go to something that's in an open tuning, not having to switch instruments. It's also just super fun. So this is in a common C6 tuning, C, E, G, A, C, E. Okay, so it's basically a C major triad with a sixth in there as well, the A, which gives it that kind of Hawaiian feel. Volume pedal is a super great tool to use with the lap steel. Turn on a little reverb on your amp or get a reverb pedal, grab a volume pedal, and just literally all you have to do with this thing is swell volume and slide up to the 12th fret and you're good. Done. Done. For beginners on a lap steel, it's fairly forgiving. And this here, the steel, pretty easy to use. Right on the strings and drag your fingers behind it to get rid of extra noise. Okay, and the last alternative for you guitar players that we're talking about today is the B-bender. The B-bender was made popular by Gene Parsons and Clarence White. Fender still makes models of the Parsons White B-bender, but you can also get what's installed here. It's called a hip shot G and B bender. Grab a guitar and spend a couple $100 and have it installed, or install it yourself if you're handy. And you have a different version of the Parsons White. On this one, the B is done with your hip right here, so. And the G is done with the lever right here, okay? With the hip, you're taking your B string a full step up. And same way with the lever here for the G string, you're taking it a full step up. So for some of these country shapes where maybe you'd be doing something like this, okay, you got a full step here on your B string and a full step here in your G string. So, try it with the benders. Way better sounding, way cooler sounding. So I'm going hip here and lever here. And essentially what you're doing is you're grabbing this full step here and here. You got that beautiful twangy country tone there. This is the kind of thing that really opens up your mind and your creativity. And you'd be surprised at how then going back to your guitar that you've been used to for however many years, you might find your hands doing different things. You might think about your fretboard in a different way. So it's benefiting your guitar playing, and it's also just expanding your knowledge of other instruments and getting more creative. Check some of these instruments out and have fun with them. See you guys next time.